Look at this. This is a well-written, well-thought, well-formatted, well-edited, and well-rehearsed speech that's going to happen in 17 minutes, 36 seconds. Until just 2 days ago, I had it down pat. But the last 2 days, I lost my sleep completely. I don't know what happened to the other speakers. I got jitters. Thoughts of forgotten sentences haunted me. I was very worried about my Indian pronunciations. How I wish my mom had married a white, and my pronunciations might have had some hope of turning out right. Then I realized I wouldn't have turned out at all. I'm actually a chance occurrence resulting from one speeding chance sperm of a chance man who took a chance on the chance day with that woman, and I'm such a random occurrence. Yeah. And that made me lose more sleep. On that, I'm a clinical psychologist. I'm supposed to have answers to this city's deepest, darkest disturbances, its churning stomachs, its road rages, its depression, and here I was losing sleep over a public speaking situation. I lost more sleep over lost sleep. Of course, I dealt with it, and if I'm going to have 3 minutes, I'm going to give you a quick understanding about how I managed it. I managed it, all right? But like me, a lot of people lose their sleep. Anxieties, cribs, complaints are enormous. Perceptions of being trapped in an unwanted marriage, a job they don't want, long hours of travel to work, no mate, no sex, not connected, independently, no mate, no sex, small house, big loans, wife's career rise, husband's career fall. The list is endless. To top it all, heart ailments, suicide, domestic violence, crime rate, use of recreational drugs, technology-induced psychological handicap. You see these kids constantly like this. Their kids are going to be born like that, right? Yes, and alienation in the youth. You think that they're connected on Facebook? They are alienated. Ask them what they uploaded on the Facebook and its status about when they brushed and when they got up and when they had a bath. Beyond that, what are they connecting? They aren't connecting, and it's in our face. This city life, with its worn-out minds and tired bodies, is our new mindscape. Though this era may not be the darkest of canvases on which we are painting our lifescapes, it's still the most challenging. And we are breaking our backs. And we don't even know how to get a solution to this because we are not looking in the right direction. We are blaming our crosses, but the culprit is actually the back. If I was to then restructure this mindscape, I would start with the back. We are so used to blaming all our problems on the stressors that we experience that we don't realize that the answer to this is a strong back. And I'm going to be speaking to you about a very important restructuring, which is this. Introduce preventive intervention to this city. And preventive intervention is the method to strengthen that back. I really wish that preventive intervention be available to everyone in our civic, social, and national networks. My journey with preventive intervention has come a long way. I've had some serious setbacks in the past. My team and I analyzed some failed psychotherapies that we experienced. One clear reason emerged. These clients had come to us after prolonged procrastination for help. Most of their difficulties would have been minimized if they would have been given some timely intervention or some coping would have been taught to them before the problem arose. Preventive intervention, in my estimate, would have reduced my failure rate by at least 60%. Presently, implementation of these preventive intervention plans is showing very promising results all over the world. Our preventive intervention plans are drawn from 20-odd principles. 20-odd principles are drawn for different schools like cognitive, rational, objectivist, stoic, existential, and positive psychology. In the future, let us replicate this success. If there is one thing you should take back from here, it is this. There is an urgent, intense, disciplined, and a large-scale need for application of preventive intervention policy. I took these principles to a few thought leaders of our city, and I got a very weird response. In fact, I throw these ideas with a lot of people just to see how they look at these principles. Almost all of them said that this mindscape restructuring, according and with the principles that I propagate, is nearly impossible. But this restructuring, if properly utilized and applied, is a feasible, viable, and doable option. There's this dialogue that I had with one Miss Bharti. I increased the privacy setting and changed the name, and this is the dialogue that I had with her. Okay? I told her that if our city needs to benefit from any one principle, it must be this: learning how to be effectively fearless. But before you learn how to be fearless, you must realize that you and only you are responsible to create a lot of fear in yourself and stay needlessly worried. Bharti asked, how? She actually believes that fear actually ensures survival. Not necessary. Be careful. Stay safe sometimes is more dangerous than take optimum risks and seek new experiences. And we teach and learn how to be fearful. You tell yourself every day, you won't be able to manage this problem. You won't be able to take that difficulty if it occurs. You rehearse every day that you can't and won't be able to manage if some painstakingly treasured reality that you build collapses. That's what you do every day. And that's what's keeping you extremely fearful. And this does not actually save you. It, in fact, worsens it. It takes away an opportunity for you to sharpen skills that you require when adversities really strike. So Bharti had a solution. She says, okay, eliminate adversities, get more TEDx conferences, get more speakers to speak, so we will reduce these adversities. No, life is never going to be free of adversities. Adversities will strike. And therefore, first, it's essential to remember that I need to formulate a strong cognition that is convinced that as long as I live, I will be able to deal with just about any difficulty. I can't control what happens to me, but I can and will deal with what happens, to deal with my reaction to what happens to me. I can control at least that. But I will not fret or fume or lose my sleep till I come face to face with my adversity this close, this close. Till then, I will not lose my sleep. And when adversity strikes, as it many a times will, in fact frequently will, I will remember that it will not shake my tranquility. It might just ruffle a few of my feathers, but it will not quake my foundation. If this is the kind of training we give each and every citizen, so much more mindscape will be freed to create what all these 7 speakers have been able to tell you. Bharti was very excited about my second principle. And in fact, before I go to the second principle, we are not just fearful of adversities, we are just scared of just about everything. We fear hurting people with our opinions. We don't want to fail, therefore we avoid trying. We avoid living our life the way we want because of fear of disapproval. We fear venturing into the unknown. Our instinct might be telling us to survive, but our higher calling is to examine potential, and no city can live to its fullest by hiding behind safe walls. Thank you. My second principle is something that's very encouraging for Bharti. She was so excited about it. Obviously, freedom is such a fascinating concept. You heard someone speak about freedom before this. So she truly believed she was free. So I said, okay, let me just quiz and see how liberal she is. So I asked her, quiz question 1. What do you call a penis or a vagina at home? There was no response, only embarrassed chuckles. We don't call penis a penis or a vagina a vagina. We call it all kinds of names. Susu, tutu, lulu, nundu, pupu. Yes. So many of us are so anxious about sex. We don't talk openly about sex, and it is just another intense, positive, pleasurable experience. And you say you're free? Okay? We don't discuss sex in our living rooms. And in fact, you think that your society will become highly sexual and promiscuous by this? In fact, no. Talking about sex in the living room will reduce anxiety about this taboo subject. In sex education, many schools, in fact, I don't know whether you've experienced this, but sex education is about showing diagrams and telling about menstrual cycles. Sex education is not about diagrams and menstrual cycles. In 2 leading schools in Mumbai, I was categorically told not to mention the word masturbation. They said, if the kids know about it, it's okay. You don't tell them. Huh? What was that? And you say you're free? The younger generation is very erroneously, people actually don't believe this, but younger generation maintain tremendous amount of faulty sexual beliefs. And in fact, this actually increases their risks for psychological and biological hazards. If we as the guiding generation do not reduce our anxiety around this particular subject, we are not going to be able to have conversations with our young. And that can be really dangerous. Okay, quiz question 2. Are you free to fall in love with 2 people at the same time? By now she was about to faint. All right? And she said, what? Yes, are you free to fall in love with 2 people at the same time? No, not if you're married, right? All your needs, all of them, psychological, physical, intellectual, financial, all should be fulfilled by just one partner. Yes, that one partner should be the center of your universal existence. Some people don't want that. Some people want to be free. Some people. In fact, some people want polyamory. That's a new word. Go look into the dictionary. Polyamory, compassion. That's a new emotion. Look into the dictionary. Polyamory is something that people prefer, some people prefer. However, they don't come to terms with their feelings. Therefore, they lose sleep by sleeping with the other person behind closed doors. And you say you're free. If you're married, you do not consider exclusivity a matter of choice. You think it's your destiny. And you say you're free. All right, if this is too sexual for your comfort, let's examine some enslavements that are not sexual. The list is endless here. I'm just taking 4 for time. Okay? First, we are enslaved to labels. I'm a Puritan, libertarian, Democrat, utopian, Tao. Wow. These, if they are principles of guidance, they're fine, but they become your identity. Who are you? I'm a libertarian. No, I'm a human being who has certain philosophies of libertarianism. And you say you're free? I'm enslaved to the belief, I'm enslaved to fear of failure. Do it well or don't do it at all. How constraining. It leaves me a whole list of things I won't do because I think I can't. Trying to do something, even in the face of failure, probable failure, actually opens doors to experimentation. These are building blocks to creativity. But I resist the word try, and try as much as you want to convince me to try, I will not try because I've convinced myself that I can't. And you say you're free? You're enslaved to comparisons. Love and beauty. Media has I'm sorry, Binta? Yeah, media has actually irresponsibly put a lot of faulty beliefs in our minds. If I have whiter armpits, I'm good to go. Thinner is prettier. At this rate, my social life is gone now. Yeah. All these movies have irrationally tried to communicate that the only love that's worth to have is a love worth to die for. And you say you're free? These and many more irrational beliefs keep you tied down. These are strong breeding grounds for anger, despair, worry, and depression. It's high time you free yourselves from them, because if you're freeing yourselves from these kind of beliefs, you have so much a space available to create, as I've been saying. And our cities would be so much happier, more inclusive spaces where we'll be able to go out and connect. I'm going to quickly tell you how I dealt with my sleeplessness. That's that one preventive intervention that I've learned, which I applied. And that's what we teach in a lot of our circles. Understand that your feelings are directly connected to your thoughts. How you think, you feel, and how you feel, you behave. The moment I started feeling these jitters, I started asking myself, what am I thinking about this event? I'm thinking these things, and in that thinking, I'm actually making many faulty conclusions. I'm interpreting this event faultily, and that's the reason I'm getting these jitters. I'm saying to myself, I'm going to crack a joke on my mom. I'm going to crack a joke on my dad, and he's up there. And I'm going to say, I was saying to myself, people have actually paid for my tickets, and I'm going to let them down. What if I forget all my sentences? I have not even gone by my cue card. Esther is doing this beautiful painting. Will I be able to stand up to her ideal? These are the thoughts I was having these 2 days. I wrote them down, and I asked how really, really real were they? And this is a preventive intervention I apply on myself very often. It does not mean I don't experience difficulty. I only don't become disturbed. One day, my son sat me down and told me everything he knew about drugs. I was petrified. I thought that he will experiment with these things because he knows so much. And in this young wisdom, he said, Mom, knowing does not become becoming. And he's so correct. Knowing all these things is not going to make you free and fearless. It's a choice you apply on your environment. So the choice is yours. Say, stay fearful and fragile, bound and bothered, or choose to be fearless and free. Thank you.